Hello and welcome everybody back to the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Kebablord here, and well, this is the nice region of Enbesa of Anno 1800. We have now successfully established a city in this region, and we can now finally start working on the story without being hindered. We can enjoy it. Okay, so we have here, of course, the Rise of Emperor Kitema as our main quest, and we have a world optional 3 hearts as 1. Select the lighthouse to get additional informations. So it is time to get to know about the other posts. So let's see. Oh, and here's also a little quest. What do you want, guys? Yeah, game saved, I know.
Is it true that in your land there are places where animals of all reaches of creation live together in harmony? I appreciate it. Really.
Okay, you want a photograph of a zoo? Ah, loading time. I really need to get a faster PC one day. Oh, for now it's doing fine. So,
54 guests in total, excluding
yeah,
us.
that is our nice zoo that we have built ages ago. So, quest book, take a photo.
Cages.
We get a flower
They
girl,
are not
affects
so
hibiscus
faded.
farm, indigo farm, and linseed farm. Worker.
Well, maybe it would.
Okay. Then time to get that.
On course.
An explosion in one of your factories.
I'm now getting really nervous. I actually thought that silos, tractor stations and so on cannot catch fire, but if a fuel station can catch fire, then we might actually have a problem here. Because this is now way too dense in order to build a proper fire station. Okay, that happening has actually some implications. Whew. Let's just hope for the best. So, in the meantime, we get here our little flower girl.
Light path plotted.
So, hibiscus, indigo, and linseed. Oh, this is my hibiscus area. So let's see where we can save more.
I didn't expect you there.
Yeah, you already work it only those few. Oh, there too are not fertile soil, but and we just saved some Oh, they now call 0 shepherd workforce. Something doesn't seem right about it.
The council have finally welcomed me among the elders of the Keftania. Truly?
Okay, you want me to prepare a speech? Elder TPV, I have several ideas on how to open my speech, but I am uncertain which would be most efficacious. First, I am to stand and call dear council members, but then, what would make the best first impression? Good thinking, I shall certainly consider that. I follow up with a series of necessary flourishes and acknowledgements, and we move on to there's much to be done. Our first mandate should be. Yeah, we are not going for piety. Sorry, that is the most useful fact. There will be much murmuring and discussion at this point, I like to think, but I will control it easily. Now on the conclusion. By the grace of the Lord, I solemnly swear that... Yeah.
Thank you for helping me understand what I
ceramic
needed to do
workshops
in my
and
speech.
We can save Ambassador and workforce. And this also counts for the ceramics workshop. Yeah, that should now do the trick. Good, and now it's time to get to know the other cultures. So we have here Wahadesher.
Wahadesha, once a land of bountiful wonders, torn apart by countless wars. I once desired for Wahadesha to blossom anew, but that fruitless endeavor drains resources I can no longer afford.
So sad. That's such an interesting ancient ruin. And here we have apparently some people living. Okay. And here we have Kidusi Anitoni.
The library is restricted to servants of the Lord. The texts here are holy scripture, guarded from unsanctioned influence.
There are writings housed in the library of Kidusi Anitoni that were old even before your old world took to the seas. But Kidusi's priests cling stubbornly to a faith long forgotten, will not join Mbesa until the day I decree their dogma the only truth.
Well then, time to take a look around. Yeah, this really looks a bit like an RPG in the 2000s, just if it had sharper textures. And of course it has way better shading and lighting.
The ageless stone shallow and learned souls blossom.
This mode is just so great.
Emperor or not, these halls were ancient before his ancestors even came to power.
Yeah, this just looks awesome. I already know what our thumbnail will be unless something more awesome is happening. So, now we have the Angereb, and if I recall correctly, those were the ones that attacked me on the passage to get here. So, this is just a big fortress. Two modules very uncleanly stuck together. Here we can also see steam fighting. Oh my god.
The pirates of Angereb deem themselves princes, inhabiting the hallowed palace of the Elamais. But the luster of its glories dulled long ago. Ever have the princes of Angereb balked at new horizons? We must parley, lest they turn their guns to your ships. Wahadesha expects a delivery. Take it to them, and in so doing, learn of their troubles.
Okay, so...
The time will come when we confront those who oppose Mbesa. But first, we must tend to those who petition us daily for succor.
Heading set.
It seems recent events have moved Angereb to parley. Water never truly stops.
So it's time to parley.
Do not antagonize the princes further.
I do not wish to. On the other hand, they shot at me. But I killed the people, so...
Light path plotted.
As the Lord provisioned, so the land of his people is built.
So, Ketema sends a lackey. Prudent. Unexpected. Very well then. Welcome to Angereb, stranger. You would have our trust? Earn it then. Show us you are capable of understanding our land and people.
Discover their unique ceramic stores, admire their tapestry industries, learn about their military headquarters.
Ours may be a small nation, but there is beauty and glory aplenty here.
Welcome, come in, come in. Indigo pots, no I have none of those, but I do have copper pots. And that was way too quick. Oh, maybe we should take a look at those pots up close. They could actually need a higher poly count. So, admire the tapestry industries. Many unpaid bills for flax deliveries are stacked in disorderly fashion on a deck. A row of stores for bales of fabric lies desolately empty. And here we have your dyeing beds. Colors. Sure, and then
I would greet our guest with a worthy gift. A comprehensive chronicle of our great land. The Epic of Lions. Come find me to discuss compiling it.
Don't trust me? It's the other way around.
Guess I need to be nice to John.
I pride myself on that. How could I possibly refuse?
Tough as nails, you say. Fine. We'll talk.
Okay, so... Overseeing the prince's meager fleet is hardly a time-consuming burden, so much so that the fleet master has taken to carving paintbrushes.
Let us hear now what your master would say to us.
Angereb is vast and full of secrets. One would need a lifetime to grasp the soul behind each face and stone. I recommend that you take the time to understand us before we discuss a potential alliance with Ketema. Angereb is not a pirate faction waiting to be disarmed. We have a history. A heart. I believe I have come to understand your people, your city. Tell us this, what was it that struck you most in Angereb? Was it the crafting district, or perhaps Master at Arms' wisdom, or yet? I saw many struggling to make ends meet and craftsmen lacking raw materials. Angereb has had to resort to piracy for so long that we rarely resort to crafting anything of our own. Why should we when it can be forcibly taken from passing ships? By the opening of a cannon brought with it more warships from the old world. Though we do not fear battle, it is our duty to maintain Angereb in the memory of the Elamai kings. A duty we cannot perform if our city is ruined and impoverished. The Emperor is willing to support your economy if you abandon piracy. A fine offer, but Angereb never seals a covenant without a token of good faith. Bring us a tangible proof of the Emperor's intentions. Show us he has the power to follow through. If he proves himself a just and trustworthy ruler, we will consider bending our knee to him.
You are a guest on our land. If we are to trust you, you must first prove your goodwill.
Hovering.
Here's that, it's something we should be able to do. Angereb building the arcs. So, we need Wanza timber, indigo, and linen.
Dirigibbling.
Be strong. We doubted you, but you helped us nonetheless. For this, you may now learn more of our secrets.
Yay, even more secrets. Okay, so much stuff.
We have need to deliver hand-carved ceramics to Wahadesha, but none of our ships are available.
Okay, find a crate of ceramics in the covered market. Most people see a better rusty sword here, but me, I see history and so many glorious stories. The clinking and clicking of small metal instruments abounds within.
If you could... There it is! Please, hurry, or they will be too dry for the monks to carve the inlays.
On course.
Your assistance to Angereb is testament to a noble heart. Beware that they do not use you against me, however.
One last favor. Though their trades may now be booming, some deliveries have been mishandled. They ask that you take personal control over one of these deliveries. So many quests, so many quests.
Right path plotted.
A fine scholar has risen. Let us not tarry.
Drops are spinning.
Ah, yes. We were expecting these.
On course.
Deliver to Kidusi Anitoni trading post with garments.
The priests were expecting their gab. Thank you kindly.
Say to the Angereb trading post, yeah, can do that.
Airship.
Dum da dum.
It's rare to see that kind of heart.
Prince Caleb has deemed you a worthy ally.
Honor above all.
On
It guides
course.
heart and spirit through the darkness of these troubled times. It is our foundation. A century ago, the line of the Elamites died with Lebni. last of the great kings. His heir, Mekdem the Young, was due to succeed him, but his younger brother Tomasi had other ambitions. Tomasi desired the throne, so he sent shade men to slay Mekdem and his kin. But things turned foul as Tomasi tried to flee. Soon the last of the Elamais lay dead, but one of Tomasi's retinue escaped, carrying with him the heirloom of Selamawi, the spear of Darashi.
Something that I am not too proud of is that Tomasi was my kin by marriage. My grandmother told me tales of a god's flight to Kedusi Anitoni for healing.
You may recall, you helped a man in Kedusi Anitoni. He was on the spear's trail, and we believe he may be close to finding it. Find the spear, and we will listen to Ketema's proposal. But be discreet. The spear is a secret to most.
Hello again, thank you for your help earlier. I spoke to the priest. They confirmed that a soldier from Angereb came here long ago for treatment, but he died of his injuries. He must be buried somewhere on this island. Help me find the cemetery. There's a cemetery here. Something special here? Click on the target to progress. Okay, nothing too special here, so I can... Learning blindness is a gift I appreciate, so I could learn to listen better. Blah. Okay, that was too quick anyways.
The library is restricted to servants of the Lord.
So, those here... Ah. Tomb of colossal proportions. Intricately graven with eagles and suns dwarfs all others in the valley. So we found a mausoleum. And here are the old tombs, okay. Old tomb, neat tomb. House of 1,000,000 years of Vedu High Priest. When you are lost, come find me. Okay.
Show a genitive relation can only be used for compounds, of course.
Okay, so that was the... Excellent. Now to find the guard's tomb. It's customary for priests to write a dying person's last wish next to their name on the headstone. That should help us find him. Well, then go there. Find the tomb of Tomasi's guard. Look to the inscriptions on the tombs to identify it. House of 1,000,000 years of Chilean royal guard. The last son of Selamavi followed the rising sun. So his name was Tilahun. The princess must learn of this. Perhaps there is more about him in the library. The priest will not talk to me, but perhaps if you ask them.
Well, we'll find a way. I'm sure.
The library is restricted to servants of the Lord. The text...
Progress through Kedusia and Itoni's quest line to unlock access to the library. Okay, so we have to... okay, I see. They are all intertwined. Then,
Light path.
I guess... you need to...
Maneuvering.
okay, that is... not for what I need. Need that one.
Light path plotted.
A fine scholar has recently returned from prison.
Ready.
So, sail to Kedusia and Itoni's trading post.
So you're the one tasked with weaving our great epic together? A foreigner? Well, any ship in a storm.
Isn't that Beanium?
Well-intentioned, I'm sure, but I spent years studying this exceedingly complicated subject at Harvard College. It is hardly an easy task. The college was nice. It is Harvard, but the people of Vespuccia were indisposed by my chroma, if you know what I mean. So I left, and more's the loss for them. All good research papers start in a library, preferably a palatial library. The priests will grant you access, perhaps. I hope.
The library is restricted to servants of the law. But, as you are working on the Chronicles, you may enter if you answer this riddle. On quiet meres I lay, never sinking. Yet dipped in water, I am fit for drinking. The library is restricted to servants of the Lord. The texts here are holy scripture, guarded from unsanctioned influence.
Really? A riddle? Okay, bland when floating, but delicious when sunk. That coffee or tea? Yeah, find it in Kedusi. Since we don't have coffee here, that usually means tea. I don't see a tea farm here. Find in Kedusi, so I really have to find it here. Ah, bags of hibiscus, okay. And apparently, that was it.
Hibiscus flower is the image of what we seek. Here in Kedusi and Itoni, knowledge nourishes us, that we may bloom in the eyes of the Lord. One must learn to see with the inner eye, the eye of the soul. Tell me, which of the buildings on our island is largest?
Well, probably a mausoleum.
He that ordered this tomb built dreamt of glory everlasting. Yet the tomb lies empty, and his name forgotten. Yes, our library is vast, but is only the cloud-swathed summit. Look to the roots hidden beneath. Our temple is but a frail offspring of the mighty halls of the Elamais.
Yeah, of course it is the
Walls
central
and
ruins.
ornate ceilings, but shallow. Long ago, Our library was a beacon of learnedness in a world of darkness. But the treacherous kings of Kashta burnt it all. Now it is interred deep below our island. But to those who know, the high walls and pale altars live on all around us. Your understanding is starting to blossom. The time for admittance is at hand.
So, make a decision. You pass the first test range. I discovered our symbol, the hibiscus. Scentless at first, yet delicious when submerged. Yes, also the hibiscus, okay. Tell me, what did you make of it? One should seek knowledge to bloom. Quite accurate, but at the root of his metaphor is our awareness of the many senses we as humans are gifted with. Hearing and observing word leads us to wisdom. Observing, smelling and tasting the hibiscus taught us that very lesson. You passed the test of sight and discovered the hidden roots of Kedusia and Itoni, the ruins of the old library. Now tell me, what do you make of it? Many tunes of learning are lost. Lost? No, the soul of Kedusia itself holds that memory. Such is our purpose, to store and nurture knowledge despite the assault of time in our library. Ours is a millennial faith, an unchallenged tradition of the centuries. It takes devotion as students and scholars of that faith to understand the simplest tenets of the wisdom stored here, keeping our minds and bodies free of the corruption of novelty to better hear the wisdom of winds. Ours is a spiritual labor of heart and mind. Menial manual labor distracts from our holy mission, something the Irenia of Kitema have forgotten. They sew and craft, but in the process they forget their duty to their people's soul. We will not share in such decrepitude. Your Lord would have us blended to his people, his united faith. This is a betrayal of all that we stand for. Until he decides to build his empire around the true ancestral faith of Mbesa and encourages the Arenia to refocus on their spiritual duties, there can be no harmony between us. Oof. So basically, industrialization or faith, well, you know me, there's no faith. The Arenia skills are essential for the empire to thrive. I believe that you're like the hibiscus. Before bathing in the waters of knowledge, there's always hope.
Loyalty to Lord Ketema does you credit. But we will not join him. He is too narrow in his faith. And I will not see Kedusi's legacy forgotten. You show yourself
so many
to be worthy
quests.
of trust. Lift now the veil and enter our famed library.
So, at least honesty is being rewarded.
Very well, let's get to it. All great nations spring from a golden age, a time of splendor and legend. The books are over there.
Let's see it then.
There are volumes here on every aspect of theology, history, science, or poetics. If you read, please turn the pages by their corners.
Treatise on heresy in the Golden Age. Litany of the Blessed Dead. Leibniz year 52, Golfa, death by meerkats. Leibniz year 61, Adera, death by boulder fall on the mountain path. Leibniz year 96, Lulu, death by falling off the mountain path. Post-Lebne, year 1, Tilahun, death by severe sword injuries. Noteworthy belongings, old spear, entrusted to the octoda. Post-Lebne, year 24, Abia, death by drowning in a keg of sweet wine. Note to self, check integrity of cellar letters. Possessions. So, now we can report here back. We have it, but this mention of an octoda. Why would they reference as a book? It must be a mistake, or perhaps it's a riddle. Of course, they wouldn't have just written the spear's hiding place down. Clever, clever. I need some time to think this through. In the meantime, why not investigate and see if you can find anything else that might help us?
Look around. I doubt we'll find it immediately, but any clue might lead us in the end to the spear.
When Tilahun died, the priest wrote that his belongings, including the spear, were returned to the octoda. Do you have any idea what that might be?
This city is a magnet for genius.
The name of one of the people buried here, the etymology would hint at 8 or something gods, statues, could be 8 virtues as described in the book. Ah, breakthrough. So this octoda is a creed, a belief in 8 cardinal virtues that must be observed by the priests in Kedusi Anitoni. That's certainly interesting, but it doesn't help us much. Look around some more and see what you can uncover. When Tiluhan died, the priest wrote that his belongings and blah blah trusted to You know from Book of the Library that the octoda are the 8 cardinal virtues observed by Kedusi and his priest, but I'm unsure how that helps us find the spear. What do you make of it? That would certainly be an interesting explanation, to hide the exact location inside the book. If that's the case, there must be something specific about that book, something to set it aside from all the others in the library. Any considerations of what that might be? Of course not, you're right. Let's start right over. Okay, so that was it not. Please don't consider any particular place to be sacred above all the others. Okay, so I was in the right. That is just a multiple choice thing. I could not spend the entire time here trying stuff. The library is quite labyrinthine, a fitting metaphor for a quest to enlightenment. Doubtless the priests would have found the imagery appealing. I have noticed the inscriptions above each of the wings. All of them are named. I suspect these names hold the second part of the key to this enigma. Return to the library and investigate this tray. I shall ponder this further, and hopefully by the time of your return, I have made further sense of it all. So many quests. Search above, it's my Island of the Dead. Yeah, that could be. When Tiluhan died, the priests entrusted his belongings to something they called the octoda. We found a book by this title in the library, in a wing aptly named the Island of God. If the book's position in the library is assumed to mirror the spear's position on the island, we must discover what the Island of God refers to. Therein lies the key. Perhaps each wing is a representation of a specific place on the island. Of course, remember the inscription on the library's frontispiece. Within the library is the whole of Kedusi. It corroborates your theory. If that is so, then the Island of God must be the holiest place on the island. The Basin of Absolution is also located on the leftmost part of the temple, much like this wing of the library. Keep listening. So the library itself is a map. Ha, how simple, how elegant, an impressive deduction, my friend. Then if a book is in the leftmost wing, we must look to a place on the leftmost part of a temple. A place where the octoda, the 8 virtues, could be represented, probably in the abstract.
With those clues, we should be able to determine where the spear was hidden.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would have thought it is now here, the ritual pool. It is close to the temple, it has 8 pillars. Oh, we have here the 8 temple columns.
A story in the making.
Story in the making. Okay.
I have scouted
and there's a path here.
I believe I have a plan. Meet me when you are ready.
Make a search for spears near the entrance to the temple, which is under heavy guard. If I take the road, I am certain to encounter priests, and they would doubtless be wary of my presence and identity. There's also a hidden mountainous path that would get me close to the temple, but it seems rather
celebrate
perilous.
your leadership.
The mountain path seems best.
Treacherous pass. Loose rocks. I will need some sort of map to progress.
You'll always be a goody-goody.
Into the mountains then. Wait till you hear from me.
Really, we now have to wait like 8 minutes. Read books describing the golden age and the founding of Embesa. Okay. Oh, we already had that one. Day in the life of a priest. The priest of Kedusi first recruits the rituals on every god-given day. Duties: morning ablutions, evening ablutions, rituals. All ablutions to be performed on the holy pool. Time between ablutions can be spent in the village. Labor and crafting are prohibited. Only the followers of the true faith of Embesa may live within the community. Only ordained priests can wear the traditional tattoo of Kedusi on their face and wrist. New recruits shall show their naked wrist to prove their identity. So were the rules laid out after the Dark Row of Surya, whose flames devoured all books on Kedusi. Cursed be his name. The foundations of Embesa, and as they rode to the waves seeking the promised land, the queen bid the gods calm the raging storm. And so did the gods comply, and the waves rose higher than mountains on either side of the ship, yet the waters before us were becalmed and clear, and ahead lay the golden plain of Embesa. So did the queen lead her people through the sea, where leviathans roam, and build a mighty city there, and in that city she raised a temple to her lost husband Selamavi, and those who had stayed with him in Sila Midas beyond the confines of the world. Treatise on heresy in the Golden Age. Heresy is that in which the powerful would not see survive in their dominion. In the Golden Age, Surya burned down the whole of Embesa, his very country, in a rage of madness. He branded Kedusi outlaws and heretics and tortured anyone who would not renounce the true faith. Many died. But the true meaning of heresy is any lie to the soul, and any physical representation of divinity can only be a lie, as divinity transcends what the servants can see. Thus, idolatry is heresy.
I hope there'd be more, but these are all the books we have. Hardly enough for a full chapter.
The octoda virtues, 8 senses: touch, sight, taste, smell, hearing, wisdom, emotion, and instinct.
There is much we could discuss.
If something expresses itself for each of them, then it must be divine, as nothing can access human senses better than divinity. Senses are our way of feeling and understanding the divine, and as such, training each of them is a virtue. Training but one is for naught. Troglodyte architecture. The tradition of carving homes into the very rock of a mountain seems to have originated in Sileamidos, but the people of Embesa gave up on this architecture as soon as they settled in the promised land, for mountains were scarce. However, following the depredations of the Sun King Surya on Kedusi, the burning of a library and all that it contained, and many of the priests' homes, Kedusi Anitoni resumed the practice of rock dwelling, building their temple within the living rock of the island so that it would be indestructible. This happened right after Surya's reign, under the age of a princess. The Golden Age ended in the cruelty and bloodshed of Surya. That much is well known, but its foundations are unclear. Few sources have survived the ravages of time, even in this place of learning. There are barely even any mentions of the early years of Embesa, outside of a book you found. What did you glean from it? Legends and fables of Queen Shaba's journey from Sileamidos. Embesa's first day could be the day Queen Shaba landed on its shores. Myth or history? Did the scribe who carved these careful lines know of sources lost to us today? Or were they lending too much credence to popular belief and legend? We shall never know. Such is the peril of learning. Our conclusions are transient themselves. As are whatever choices we make. We must lend caution to our thoughts.
It's all prepared.
Some nice little slivers in there.
Accounts are precious but fallible. Only evidence, traces from the very time you wish to study, might yield information on the fabled Golden Age and the cradling times of Embessa. Where would you look for such traces? The Emperor's city was built on the ruins of Embessa's first capital. The temple of Selamavi is ancient, certainly, but most of the other ruins under Tabarim are young, wrought in recent centuries. History was not kind to the capital. Thrice it was razed, and thrice built anew, so that much of its older bones are long forgotten. Nowhere other than Kedusia and Ituni will you find land untouched by greedy or violent hands for countless centuries. If evidence of Surya's time is to be found, it will be in this ground on which we stand, where the Mad King's inquisitors burned the old library 2 millennia ago.
History becomes legend, legend myth, and even myth is half forgotten. But why not dig up the old library? There must be traces to be found.
Recruit a group of workers on another island.
Archaeology is the queen of all disciplines. Go, dig, dust, douse. The evidence should be enough to complete this first fragmentary chapter.
And you know what? As a sign of goodwill...
You are accustomed to such undertakings. Gather a crew and supplies.
Beware the sweet words of the priests of Kedusi. They are cannier than they seem, and would see their faith vindicated rather than bow.
On course.
An interesting idea, but the capital will not grow if I expend workforce on secondary concerns.
You're not helpful.
Light path.
Unsurprising. The people of Tabarin are wayward, having forgotten the ways of old.
Well, maybe the pirates are able to help.
This excavation is none of our business.
Airship.
Dig away if you wish, but we need our workers elsewhere.
Okay, so it will be Vahadishir, that helps. So actually, all three people are very connected to each other. Good to know. Good to know.
We found a man in the mountains, wounded, who sent us to you for aid. Perhaps you would care to explain?
That could have gone better. Master your wits. The High Priestess is a shrewd old woman.
The spear is here. My predecessors made no mention of this great secret. Apt precautions, seeing your shameless attempt to break in. I will let you have this spear, for Angereb is its shrine of old. But I will not have Kedusi lose such a treasure rewardlessly.
Deliver an Embessa artifact of epic or legendary. Okay, let's see if we can simply buy something like that.
We have much to share, I think.
Look at that, we found another flower girl. Spitting cobra. Yeah, sorry, but I need that
You
hippo.
may dispose. As a younger man, I shared the dreams of the shepherds, and to an extent still do. Embessa must adapt if it is to.
Okay, that will now take a little bit of time. But I will get that artifact.
Careful.
Is that statue already enough? I don't know if it counts as Embessa culture.
Notice we have no shipyards here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
At last, the spear returns to Angereb. Let us be on our way then.
On course.
The Spear of Elamais. The legendary Spear of Elamais is just not just a relic of Embessa's long-lost founding dynasty. It is a symbol, one that could be used by Angereb to rise up behind a new ruler, claiming the legitimacy granted by the spear. The self-proclaimed true king of Embessa by the grace of the Lord. It is a dangerous artifact to leave unattended, and one the Emperor must be notified of. But beware, whoever you choose to give it to, their opponents may never forgive you for that. Oh. So, that is now the big question. Will I have Katema unifying everything?
Cargo stations. New orders.
Oh, consume 20% less dried meat.
Aye.
So, Katema or Angereb? I guess I will side with Katema on this one. As interesting as I find this. But as you can see here, this is a military nation.
They took up Embessa, but cower before the walls of Angereb.
Yeah, but that should also be the thumbnail. And yes, we will bring it to Katema.
Light path plotted.
They will hate me for that, but I don't care.
An explosion in one of your factories.
Cool. We are missing steel.
Heading set.
Well then. We shall load steel.
Dirigibbling.
Such a waste of time again. And the solution can't be that I build like 10 ranger stations around it. Now come on, I want to deal with the Angereb stuff so that we can focus next episode on one of the other islands, and then we can have like one tribe per episode.
Altitude stable.
Ah, there's Katema's ship.
I had not counted on so swift a return. The spear. I thought it lost. And you say it was in Kidusi? You did well to bring it. It is too powerful an artifact for Angereb to wield.
On course.
With their trust in you broken, it seems we are out of solutions. Dire times await. Sound the drums of war.
Sound the drums of war?
Fleet ready?
Can we even construct ships here? Doesn't seem like it, but hey. So, time to go to the old world. Alright, we need frigates. And not steamships. Though the negotiations got off to a promising start, you have decided to betray the prince's trust by giving the legendary spear of Selamavi, which they have so longed for, to Emperor Katema. Your treachery will doubtless spark outrage in Angereb and sow the seeds of war, which now seems inevitable. The Emperor recommends you prepare for what is to come, for the princes are sure to retaliate with fire and fury once your betrayal is uncovered. Okay, then.
Hold the crane.
We are working on it. And my fleet is on its way. So, 3 ships are now under construction. Oh, and there's now a big war fleet coming.
A renowned personage has arrived.
Chief Superintendent Clifford. Okay.
Ship constructed.
So, since I now constructed 2 ships,
Ship
does it
constructed.
count towards the quest? Of course not. What was I thinking? The K. Hallmann shall lead a fleet to victory. I totally forgot that I still have clippers in my command.
The people celebrate your leadership. Your ship has returned from its voyage.
Fleet awaiting orders.
Okay, so we are definitely ready for war.
Attention for the Admiral.
Okay, then, so time to go to the old world. I know this episode is going to be extra long. Hey, more stuff for you guys, right? I really want to finish the story in just one episode. Now come on.
Ship constructed.
Fleet awaiting orders.
Be on your way.
Stations. Fleet en route.
So the princes are about to discover my treachery. We are prepared. The question is, what are we now doing in the last 14 minutes? Oh my dear, we continue with archaeology. Archaeology. Oh my god, now I'm even too stupid to speak properly. Guess it's because the episode is already so long.
Airship. What brings you? Resources are thin. Any help you could send would be appreciated.
We cannot accommodate so many. We shall need temporary quarters for these workers.
You guys will get both. So... you need again Wanza timber, mud bricks.
Light path plotted.
So first of all, we are going to build the temporary workers. Workhouses.
On course.
Now for the final, a small contribution to the Lord's plans.
Hovering.
Okay, so now time to deliver the food.
This would certainly help us survive. An oath given is an oath due. Our workers have boarded your ship. May your search prove fruitful.
Stable.
Back already? The excavators appear ill-fed. That will have to do for the task at hand. At last, the excavation can commence. Lord, look favorably upon us.
Apparently we are really changing some stuff. So, and here we can now get the supplies for Vaha de Share.
Let us not tarry then.
Maneuvering.
What brings you? I would welcome you better, but even the patient Jat has deserted our island. Wahadesha is old. Some of its beauty yet survives. Follow Ebal. He will show you.
It's an honor to be your guide. Follow me and I should take you through the Xa, the center of Vaha de Share.
Your ship has returned from its voyage.
So, in the first level of Xar, there used to be a wood and pens, but most of the animals have fallen to the
Just
heat
in
and
time.
droughts.
We have the upper hand, and must seize it lest it fades.
You said we could come to you, right?
Okay, what do you want?
It is lonely work, excavation. and I miss my home. Thank you kindly.
Dirigibbling. Keep her constant. Frigate commencing escort.
So let's see what we can do with all these 3 clippers, with all these 3 frigates.
Aye.
So in the end, if I already see a bomb, then it means we are destroying an entire culture.
Stations.
Underhanded, but efficient.
Coordinates plotted. You can rely on us.
So we have now 3.5 minutes to deliver the fake spear. Your decision to deprive the Prince of Angereb of his spear to the Mavi and instead give it to the to Emperor Katima has laid the path of war between the 2 islands. The only remaining solution is to seize Angereb and subjugate it through the use of force. The task easiest to accomplish if you can use surprise to your advantage before princes have had time to prepare and learn of your deceit. Move one of your ships to the requested location. You can find it by clicking on the quest. Stay out of a prototype's radius of sight or they attack you. The smaller and faster the ship you use for this, the higher chance of success. Angereb will be friendly to you as
returning. I hope it is for good reason. And that you found the spear?
Heading set.
The dog reveals its true colors. You would deny us kingship? Then it is war you will have. Relentless and to the end.
Fleet ready?
War, they say. Dealing with traitors is not war, it is justice. And you will rain the fire of my wrath down upon them.
Ship under attack. People salute your leadership.
So, apparently we are having here a lot of fun.
Stations!
So epic.
Moving to coordinates.
Your enemies
convoy.
Okay, so we are about to subdue the entire harbor.
Enemy target established.
Ship under attack.
Prepare to fire.
Workforce shortage.
So there's an object we have to destroy. Wait. Can we now not destroy it anymore?
Don't trust me? It's the other way around.
We cannot destroy it anymore? What's that?
Aye.
Seems like we can't do anything anymore here. Well,
Stations.
I wish I could have ended this episode on a success, but apparently that is a bug or anything else. I will consult Google for that. And yeah, that is now severely disappointing. Destroy the enemy's ships with your military riders. You can find them by clicking on the quest in the game. Destroy the enemy's ships, retrieve the item. But I'm at peace with them.
Attention for the Admiral.
The people celebrate your leadership.
Aye.
As I said, I will consult Google. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed this episode and its extra length. And yeah, I will see you next time. And if you want to get notified when the next episode goes up,
Fleet awaiting
just make
orders.
sure you're subscribed to the channel and that notifications are activated. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a thumbs up and join our community Discord if you want to get in touch with me directly or the rest of the community. And with that, I say goodbye and see you next time in
Stations.
Anno 1800. Bye bye.